Over 80 people are dead. Gone. Not from combat, not from terrorism, but from a country with one of the world's largest militaries. Since September 2025, the Trump administration has authorized lethal strikes on small boats off Venezuela's coast, without Congress approval, without proof, without congressional declaration of war. They called them drug traffickers, narco-terrorists, but fishermen are terrified. Docks are empty. A Colombian farmer? He was simply fixing his engine when U.S. drones killed him. Today, we're exposing what's really happening. Is this war on drugs, or is it a pretext for regime change that Congress never authorized? And if the U.S. government can execute people without trial thousands of miles away, what does that mean for international law and for you? By the time this video ends, you'll understand why the Caribbean has become a floating war zone. You'll see why legal experts call these operations extrajudicial killings. And you'll know what's at stake for America, Venezuela, and international law. The USS Gerald R. Ford, the world's most advanced aircraft carrier, is operating just offshore. Over 15,000 U.S. military personnel, 10 F-35 stealth fighters, a nuclear submarine. This is the largest military buildup in the Caribbean in decades. The Trump administration states it's stopping narcotics, but military analysts, lawmakers, and allied nations like Colombia are asking, is this really about drugs? Or is someone preparing to overthrow a government? Let's investigate the truth. On September 2, 2025, 1 month into his second term, Trump announced the U.S. military struck a boat off Venezuela. 11 dead. Trump appeared celebratory at the White House. "We just took out a boat, a drug-laden boat," he told reporters. What followed reveals the real story. 21 strikes, 83 confirmed deaths, multiple nations demanding investigations, and one detail triggered bipartisan congressional outrage. The Pentagon conducted a second strike against survivors from the first explosion. 2 people survived the initial impact. They were burning in the Caribbean Sea. Rescue was coming, but the Pentagon gave the order for a second strike. Both died. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth announced this operation. The Trump administration called it double-tap operations, the exact tactic that sparked global outcry under Obama. These strikes happened in international waters, against small boats with skeleton crews. The U.S. government never publicly showed evidence of narcotics, not a photo, not a weight, not documentation. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer broke ranks. Trump's actions are pushing us closer to another costly foreign war. Congress has sole authority to declare war, not the president. Colombian President Gustavo Petro confirmed something darker. The U.S. killed a fisherman named Alejandro Carranza, despite his distress signal being clearly up. Engine trouble, no criminal record, American drone, instant death. By October, the death toll had climbed to 61. By November, over 80. Then the USS Gerald R. Ford arrived. 10 F-35 fighters deployed to Puerto Rico. In October, the CIA received covert authorization for operations in Venezuela. On November 29th, Trump declared Venezuelan airspace closed in its entirety. International lawyers erupted. UN Human Rights Chief Volker Turk issued an official statement. None of the individuals appeared to pose an imminent threat or justified lethal force under international law. A war powers resolution was introduced. Both Democrats and Republicans signed on. The Pentagon claimed self-defense, but a leaked White House memo admitted these were non-international armed conflict operations, Legal gray zone deliberately chosen because actual war requires Congress. That's when the hidden layer emerged.
What most people don't realize, Venezuela holds 303 billion barrels of proven oil reserves, the largest in the entire world, more than Saudi Arabia, more than Russia. U.S. refineries are engineered specifically to process Venezuela's heavy crude. When Venezuelan production runs high, American refineries operate at peak efficiency. Right now, only 1 million barrels daily, down from over 2 million because of sanctions and mismanagement. Secretary of State Marco Rubio designed this strategy with clear purpose. He topples left-wing governments. His stated mission is reshaping the Western Hemisphere and ending socialist regimes. Now here's the contradiction. Venezuela does have a gang problem. Tren de Aragua is a criminal network. That's documented. But a declassified April 2025 intelligence report concluded there's no evidence Maduro controls them. A February report confirmed the same. The Trump administration fired an official for refusing to change that assessment. So the truth: yes, criminal networks operate from Venezuela. No, there's no verified proof Maduro commands them. But that doesn't matter anymore because the narrative shifted. In October, Trump authorized CIA covert operations in Venezuela. Those words trigger alarm bells in Latin American history. The CIA toppled Guatemala in 1954, trained Bay of Pigs invaders, attempted assassinating Castro over 600 times. Now the same agency operates in Venezuela with zero congressional oversight. Here's the stunning contradiction. The Trump administration claims Maduro controls drug traffickers, while simultaneously negotiating with him. They spoke by phone in November. Trump suggested meetings. That doesn't sound like invasion preparation, unless the real objective is leverage. Here's where this directly affects you. Here's what's truly at stake. America. If Trump wages undeclared war without Congress, he establishes precedent that presidents can conduct lethal operations indefinitely without constitutional checks. Article 1 states Congress declares war, not Article 2 presidents. This precedent erodes constitutional foundation permanently. Europe. If America unilaterally closes another nation's airspace and conducts strikes without international authorization, what prevents China from doing this near Taiwan? What stops Russia near Ukraine? International law depends on consistency. If America ignores the rules, everyone ignores them. China. Venezuela requested military support from Russia, China, and Iran. An American invasion triggers proxy conflict. Chinese and Russian equipment flows in. The Caribbean becomes contested territory. America loses the region for decades. Economic. Global oil markets watch Venezuela intensely. Regime change, followed by new government selling massive crude exports, that drops global oil prices. That affects your gas prices, inflation, energy costs directly. But lower prices also undercut American producers and Russia, which depends on high oil prices to fund Ukraine operations. The human dimension. The 83 dead have names, families. In Colombia, legal cases are being filed. The Inter-American Human Rights Commission issued complaints. This sets accountability precedent. International law is clear. You cannot execute civilians without trial. You cannot use lethal force unless an imminent threat exists. You must capture suspects when possible. The fundamental question: if your government classifies you as a terrorist and executes you without evidence or trial, that authority doesn't stop at Caribbean waters. Once normalized internationally, it becomes a weapon. Our investigation found something deeply troubling. No smoking gun, no declassified documentation, just a constantly shifting narrative. September, drug trafficking. October, CIA covert ops. November, airspace closure. December, what escalation next? 0 confirmed drug seizures shown publicly. 0 court cases. 0 prisoners because there are no prisoners. The dead are fathers, providers, communities destroyed. Colombia confirmed civilians were killed. Venezuela lost family members. Allied nations watch America dismantle international law. But the question only you answer: is this progress or danger? Progress if regime change serves American interests. Progress if you trust unlimited executive war power. Progress if extrajudicial executions become normal. Or danger if Congress should control war. Danger if international law applies equally. Danger if unchecked presidential power becomes the threat. Bipartisan senators demand answers now. War powers resolutions introduced. Investigations opening. Accountability demanded. For you, do you stand with Congress or the president? With international law or unilateral power? If America can close Venezuelan airspace without evidence, whose airspace is next?